Hi, I'm Kris Rzepkowski, Vice President of Marketing and Communications with the Bennett family of companies. Here with our Executive Vice President, Gentry. We've been partners in crime this year during the Bennett Transportation Logistics Racing sponsorship of the number 21 Chevrolet Camaro for Richard Childress Racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And of course, that driver is Austin Hill. Well, we're excited to get a few minutes out of his busy schedule today on a very exciting day in his racing career.
So welcome, Austin. Welcome to the program today. We're so excited that you took the time to join us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me today, guys. I'm very excited for the announcement that came out today and ready to get going this weekend.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So let me just get started with the first question. You just got a great taste, a passion from the Bennett family and being in Indy with the Ace-Dorn car that last Saturday. So we had a great weekend together, had a lot of fun. So how was your energy in Indianapolis? How did you take away from that and being with the Bennett and Ace-Dorn team?
Yeah, it was a blast being able to see everyone there. Obviously, Indianapolis has such a history, just racing on the oval, and now we're racing on the road course. So just, yeah, I mean, the whole place was electric. It was a fun time. A lot of fans there. I felt like even when you were in the race car, you could just see all the fans in the stands, and it's always cool to go down the front stretch there, and you have the stands on the left side and on the right side. You have it on, both sides of the racetrack. So it looks really cool when you're in the car and just seeing everyone there. Obviously with Ace Duran and then Bennett being there, that made it even more fun. Wish we could have ran a little bit better, and we still were able to come home solid with a top 10 finish out of the day and salvage points and all of those things. But we wanted to be just a little bit better throughout the day, so we could have possibly ended up in victory lane for everyone that was on the car that weekend. But the car looked really cool. I love the red and the black and the white. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan, so it was a pretty cool scheme that we had there. I liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool when you were there everybody cheering on the Bulldogs. So it was great to see you there, and I know everybody from the Ace-Dorn and Bennett team, they were excited to be with you there on Saturday at the recruiting tents and all that. So thanks for taking the time to do that.
Yeah, judging on the carnage that happened over that weekend with all the cars in the first turn, I'm just glad that paint scheme made it through and you placed a solid finish. So that was a good deal.
Yeah, it was a wild turn one all weekend.
Yeah. Well, the big news of the day was dropped, and we're so excited about it. What does it mean to you personally to be racing in your first Cup Series race this weekend in the Bennett Transportation Logistics number 33 Chevrolet for RCR in Michigan?
Well, obviously, as a little kid growing up, I started racing when I was 6 years old and definitely wanted to make it to the Cup level one day. That's everyone's dream. When you get into NASCAR and you're a little kid, you want to be just like Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, all those big names. And now to say that I get to race with, guys like Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott and all everyone that's in the Cup Series, it's going to be a dream come true for me, and hopefully we can make the most of it with our Bennett Transportation Logistics Chevy Camaro. I'm very humble about it, blessed, and very excited to just get out there on the racetrack with all of the Cup veterans and just see where we stack up. The number one goal for the day is just to go out there and complete all 200 laps and hopefully just come home with a good finish, solid finish, and no marks on the race car. And we can take that going forward and hopefully, down the road, I get the opportunity again and I learn from it and kind of go that route.
Yeah, pretty exciting, isn't it, Kris? It is pretty exciting. And everybody knows I'm from Michigan. I was born and raised in Michigan, so I'm a big Michigan fan there. So I'm excited about going to Michigan, Austin, and being there and talking about family and being raised there. We all know you're a big family man. You love your family, and your mom and dad have been on this journey with you since you've been 6, and Ashlyn and the kids have been there. So share with our group, what does it mean to you, your family, for you to be in this race, this big race on Michigan, in your first ever time in a Cup car?
I think it means as much to my family as it does me. I mean, it seems like, everyone's very excited about it, very just blessed to have this opportunity with RCR and Bennett. And I think that, all of us really can't put into words what it means to us fully, just because it was one of those things that I'm obviously 28 years old, and I feel like I'm kind of getting into the Cup Series a little bit late. I feel like a lot of these drivers, they get into the Cup Series around 20, 21, 22 years old, and I'm a little bit later than that. So I didn't know if it was ever going to happen, and now that it has, there's just a lot of emotions that have kind of came with that. And I know my wife and kids and mom and dad, my parents, they've sacrificed a lot to get me to where I'm at today. We started this journey when I was 6 years old, just driving a little quarter midget at our local racetrack, and thought that it was just going to be something that, my mom and dad and I did for some bonding time. And then it turned into all of this. Now we're going cup racing. So a lot has transpired over the last few years, and I can't be more excited about it.
That's cool.
Boy, that's a testament to just sticking to it. Keep
Is.
going. So we know, obviously, the next gen Cup car is really pretty different than the Xfinity car, at least from what we hear. Of course, we're not behind the wheel. So what do you see as the biggest challenge leveling up to the Cup car? I know you're already kind of working on that this week. So give us a sense for what that challenge is like.
Yeah, there's a lot of differences going into the Cup car versus the Xfinity car. The biggest thing is the sequential gear shifting. You just pull back, from first all the way to fifth gear. It has a fifth gear. It's not like your original H pattern 4-speed like we have in the Xfinity car. So that's going to be something that I have to keep in the back of my mind when I go from the Xfinity car to the Cup car for say practice. And then when we go Saturday from the Xfinity race to the Cup race, I just got to remember when I'm going through the gears that I'm just pulling all of them back instead of doing the H pattern. So I think that's something that my crew chief and I are going to be kind of hounding me on about a little bit. It's just, every restart reminding me, like, look, this is how you have to shift it. You don't want to mess up. There's been some of the Cup veterans in the sport that have had that issue. They come down pit road, and next thing you know, they come out on the racetrack and they go to try to shift it like you would just your regular Xfinity car, and next thing you know, they have an issue. So that's something you got to keep in the back of your mind. The cars drive totally different, and they have all this new technology with the toe link and things like that, and the independent rear suspension and all those things. So I've done a lot of sim work this week. I was in there yesterday. I've been in there a little bit today, doing both Xfinity and Cup, and the cars drive totally different. They don't drive the same as one another. Your lap times are a lot different, things like that. So there's a lot that you have to go in and learn quickly going into the weekend. And one big thing that I've noticed with the Cup regulars is the way the right rear tire kind of falls off so quickly. It's gotten a lot of people by surprise, and that's why you've seen a lot of the veterans in our sport, end up in the fence and spin out and things like that. It's because it's really hard to tell when the cliff on the tire is going to kind of fall off and you're going to start getting too loose or whatever the case may be with the right rear. So that's something I've been trying to learn in the sim. And until you get on the racetrack, you don't know exactly what you have, but I'm starting to get a sense for it.
Yeah, that's interesting, Kris. So talking about that, you mentioned it earlier about the drivers that you're going to be racing against, and that's pretty exciting. So saying all that, this opportunity to race with those guys, how do you feel the challenge is against some of the best in your sport, and what do you see coming your way? I mean, there's some big racing programs there, along with Richard Childress, but how do you see that racing with those guys on Sunday? And what do you see as a challenge?
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge just doing what we're trying to do is, making your first Cup debut. And I think that throughout the whole race, you're having to learn how the Cup guys race, because that's just a higher level. The field's deeper. When in the Xfinity Series, it seems like I'd say the top 15 guys in the Xfinity Series can win in any given weekend. But when you get to the Cup level, it goes back to 25th place, or even more, where each and every weekend someone can win. So I feel like the field on the Cup side is way deeper than the field is on the Xfinity side. So that's going to be a challenge. And I think the races are longer, so there's more times that you can have an issue in the race, and you have to minimize your mistakes throughout the race weekend. You're going to have that extra, maybe 1 or 2 pit stops that you're going to have, versus on the Xfinity side, you won't have as many pit stops. So all of that kind of comes into play. You can end up winning or losing a race on pit road. So your team has to be flawless all day. You have to be flawless on pit road. Obviously, the Cup guys, they are going to drive differently than how they do on the Xfinity side. I feel like they know when to make moves. They know how to make moves. They know, if they're racing side by side with somebody, what they need to do to kind of slow those guys down and take air off to those guys and things like that. So there's going to be a lot to learn in a short amount of time going into Michigan this weekend. And I'm just hoping that each and every lap that I can learn something, whether whoever I'm around, I can just see things that they're doing differently, and hopefully I can apply that going forward.
Austin, you don't always race multiple races in a weekend, but you have, and I've seen a lot of the Cup drivers coming down to Xfinity, a lot of the Xfinity drivers like yourself, you go down and race the trucks. What does it take, though, if this is your big moment on Sunday, to go up to the Cup, and you've got 2 races this weekend in an Xfinity car and a Cup card? Is there any other special preparation that you're doing to have that stamina that you're talking about, or that, being able to race 2 races this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been pretty good about my hydration and keeping up with that side of things. I think that I'm probably going to up my hydration intake up just a little bit more than what I would normally do on a race weekend. Maybe hit some more of the electrolytes and things like that to make sure I'm prepared and ready to go for the weekend. The last thing you want to do is race Saturday and then you wake up Sunday morning and feel a little dehydrated. That wouldn't be good going into Sunday's race with it being such a long race. So just trying to do that. Obviously, I work out throughout the week on a normal basis and not really doing anything too different there. I don't want to go crazy with the workout regimen this week because I don't want to get worn out before the weekend even gets started. So I feel like this weekend maybe a little bit lighter of a weekend for me on the working out. I'm running a few miles here and there a day and things like that, but not doing nothing too strenuous or crazy. The biggest thing is doing a lot of simulator time and hitting the hydration and electrolytes is probably my biggest concern right now.
Yeah, very cool. So Austin, Sunday, we're all pretty excited about Sunday. I know Kris and I and a bunch of people from Bennett are heading northbound to Michigan, but for the race on Sunday, what are your expectations? What do you expect to accomplish on Sunday during this race?
Number one goal is to finish all the laps. So it's such a long race. I feel like mentally you just gotta be prepared for 4-hour plus long race. So that's something that I'm kind of working on is to mentally prepare myself that I'm going to be in the race car for a lot longer than I ever have before. And like I said, I want to complete all the laps, and wherever that finish is, hopefully it's inside the top 10 or inside the top 15, whatever the case may be. I'm probably going to be happy with wherever we finish that weekend, as long as I finish all 200 laps. I've seen time and time again, people make drivers make their debut, and they have these expectations to go out there and run inside the top 10 or inside the top 5. And a lot of times it doesn't work out that way. So I'm taking a little bit different approach. And my biggest approach is to finish all the laps and see where we end up. I think if we finish all the laps, we have good pit stops, and we minimize the mistakes all day, I think you could see us have a pretty decent finish throughout the weekend.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. We'll hope for that as well. And Austin, I know that you've got a lot of media engagements and training to do today. We thank you for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule to be with the Bennett media, I guess you'd call it. From the entire Bennett family, we're all behind you, as you take this next big step in your career. I know that our Our truck drivers, they come to Bennett to take the next big step in their careers, and they're just all so excited for you to take that next step. We pray for your safety and your decision-making as we get ready to cheer you on in the number 33 Bennett Transportation Logistics Chevrolet at the Firekeepers Casino 400 at Michigan International Speedway this Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern on the USA Network. So, Austin, thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate you.
We do. And all I got to say at the end is go Blue 33.
Go
Let's
33.
make it
right.
happen on
Let's do it.
Sunday.
That's right. Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. And I can't thank everyone at Bennett enough for allowing me to do this, and everyone at RCR for having faith in me to go out there and see what we can do in the Cup Series. So let's get it.
Yeah,
Let's get it.
get him, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.